It's about time, Carl. I think it's 3 years too late. Les should have gone out a long time ago. He's been there 15 years as CEO, and these allegations have been widely known. Why the board sits back and waits for Ronan Farrow not to write just one article, but 2 articles of all these women coming forward. What are they thinking when they didn't act? What a sharp contrast, Carl, with Intel, Texas Instruments, and even Hewlett-Packard in years past when those boards acted promptly and effectively, and this board sat there. I think it's because they had an inside board, Carl. They had 7 insiders in the board, including the Redstones, and many of them are departing finally. And Bruce Gordon did an excellent job, doing an excellent job now as lead director, turned to Dick Parsons, helped recruit a new board, and they're bringing on some great board members. 3 terrific women, a couple of CEOs, and Parsons himself. So, and Mary Minow, by the way, the good board members, the strong ones, are being carried over. Mary Minow, who's a colleague up at Harvard, a dean of the law school, terrific, and countryman from Liberty. And, you know, you've got some good people there that are staying with it. But I'm very critical of this board for not acting. And I think it was well known in CBS of what was going on, and it created a terrible atmosphere, as your previous guest just said, for women.
Bill, you mentioned some other examples, like at Intel, Texas Instruments, other companies where the board seemed to move swiftly in the face of allegations. But I wonder if there's some takeaway here based on the fact that Moonves was so synonymous with CBS. He's the only CEO this company's had in its current incarnation since it was public and independent. He was considered to be kind of the linchpin of the whole strategy. And I would maybe even look over to founder like Steve Wynn, too. It's really a sign of how much pressure is necessary for a board to act when you have that kind of a CEO, and I wonder what that tells you about how about governance across other companies that have that situation, perhaps in tech right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Les was not, he's not the owner, he's not the founder, it's not like Elon Musk or the situation we've had in tech. But I think that's a terrible mistake. There's always somebody better than you are out there. And if you ever start to think, I'm the only one that can hold it together, nonsense. Look how well Medtronic doing these days. I've been gone a long time, and I think companies go on to better things if they have a strong board and a good succession process. Without that, they're going to be in trouble. And so I think Les was just too powerful, and he should have, yeah, he did some great work, you're right, but I think he should have moved on and let somebody else take it over. And let me just say this, as they're looking to people, you know, we have fantastic women in the media industry. How many of them make it to the top? I'd like to see him appoint a female CEO to replace Les Moonves. I think that would change his culture in a hurry. And I think it would make it a much healthier culture, not just for the women, but for the men. No one wants to be in an uncomfortable environment where these kind of things are going on. So I think it's time to clean house and get some new top executives in there.
Well, certainly the change in the board composition, Bill, is a big step forward for CBS, yes, with the new board now about half women. But, you know, you mentioned the board's role in this whole thing, and the board, as you point out, was very cozy to Les Moonves. And that's all fine when the company and the stock's doing okay, but then it turns very bad when the board is actually expected to do something. I mean, is this a time for investors to really take a hard look at the board? I mean, investors who generally don't vote their proxies out there, they don't pay attention to who is up for vote when it comes to a board contest, and to actually look and see what kind of connections does the board have to the current CEO.
Absolutely. Why do you have all these insiders? The boards I'm on don't have insiders, and this idea of cozying up to the CEO, that's the last thing. No matter how well the company is doing, Exxon performed great when I was on the board. I can tell you, no one was cozy with Rex Tillerson. No one's cozy with Lloyd Blankfein. He's just done a terrific job. I just don't think that's the board's role. You have to continually be challenging. And when you have all these insiders, no one's going to challenge. They're all just going to listen to whatever the CEO wants. And that's a huge mistake. So go to independent directors. Yes.
I was going to say, on exit compensation, what does he legitimately deserve? And I assume on that front, maybe you think we should wait until these law firms finish their investigation before they decide?
Yeah, but basically, I'm not sure he deserves. Why is he needing more money? He's been well paid all these years. Why give him more to leave? He's left under a shadow. He's harmed the company. Yes, give the $20 million to the Me Too or to the women's organizations. Go on. But I don't think he has. I didn't get any compensation when I left Medtronic, and we did okay.
What if,
I don't think he deserves any.
I will probably get skewered for saying this, but what if these allegations come up empty? I mean, they certainly, when you read the New Yorker's accounts, I mean, they certainly seem very, I mean, there's no reason to not believe them, but these are allegations. He hasn't been proved to have done anything wrong at this point. Isn't it fair for him to possibly receive the compensation he might deserve if the allegations don't come up to be true?
You're right, and if it proves all to be false, there'll be a lawsuit. But I think the board should have contact with the senior executives and know what's going on. It's not, you just don't sit and wait for an outside law firm to do an investigation. As a board member, you've got to have a sense of it. We have long meetings on all the boards I serve on talking about diversity and inclusion. You talk to people, you have direct contact. You get a pretty good sense of what's going on. If this board hadn't done that, shame on them. They should have been doing it all along. And they'll get a pretty good idea of the culture that they're, and culture matters. The companies with strong cultures do very well. You look at the banks, companies do very well. So about Silicon Valley, look at the strong culture at Apple or Google. Those companies are doing really well because they have strong culture. This has been a problem. They have talented people at CBS, but they don't have what I would call a high quality culture.